Hi everyone, it's Jen. Welcome to Side Effect Central. I am at, it'll be 12 weeks on Friday. Today is Tuesday. And it's been a very shockingly roller coaster day. I'm gotten my period. And I'm supposed to. I was supposed to have already gotten it. And I feel like with this whole process and the meds and the injections, like everything should sort of be like clockwork. And it's not. And I've had like symptoms, which I've been sharing with you guys about for almost a week now. So I would have thought that things would get moving, and they're not. So it makes me wonder if the Lupron is doing its job faster than I thought, and maybe I'm done. And maybe I'm not getting my periods anymore. I don't know. The only way to know that is just to wait and see what happens. I'm scheduled for my next Lupron injection next Thursday. And it's funny because I use the app on Apple, which tracks like when you get your periods and if you have sleep changes or mood changes or there's three things: sleep, mood, or acne. Yeah, I may have a lot of freckles, but I don't typically get acne. But the mood changes, yes. The sleep changes, I just don't have good, like, I don't have good patterns when it comes to falling asleep. But, excuse me, the side effects are like in total full swing. And I've been crying a lot today, which is why I'm vlogging. I actually was on Instagram earlier today. As I went for a 2-mile walk, I thought I had the day mostly free, and then when I got home, I realized like an errand I was supposed to run that I totally flaked on. And I go back to work on Friday, so I don't, I'm not in the mode of like having all day to run errands anymore. And like I'm like, okay, today's the last day I have a chunk of time, and I actually didn't have a chunk of time. And it's a perfect example of old life versus, I guess, TV. Old life versus new life post-cancer, because it looks different. I'm not the same person. This whole thing just changes so much about you. Not just physically, but just how you deal with life, how you deal with people. So side effects going on right now. The hot, the hot flashes, which are still like periods of being hot, whatever. The abdominal cramping, which makes me wonder if that's the Lupron doing its thing, because maybe I'm cramping so badly because my ovaries are being told to stop working, and that means that the Lupron's working. I don't know. But the abdominal cramping is something I'm not used to. I intentionally today, when the cramping started this morning, like I woke up and I was almost in tears because I just couldn't stand waking up another day and having the freaking cramping. I thought like, okay, bring on the flow and let things move along. And that's not how it's working. And it just gets frustrating that like nothing right now is expected and nothing is typical. And there's just, you just don't know what like every 5 minutes is gonna bring. And I have to say, like, these tears are not these are not hormonal. These are like just frustration. There's no consistency to anything to be able to like make plans or understand like what's happening with me. And it's just frustrating. The only thing that I know for sure, like time-wise, is when you get the Lupron injections, it's 4 weeks and a day. And I have to plan out the things that I'm doing based on how my body, deals with, all the feminine things that come along with why you would need a Lupron injection. So maybe it's all working. I don't know. But a big thing I wanted to focus on today is, like I said, I go back to work on Friday. And it's weird. It's weird going back to like where I work. I've been there for 7 years now. And it's weird to go back to some place where things seem like they should be predictable because I've been there for a while and like I know my job inside and out. But it's like I'm not the same person at all. I'm noticing I mean we're still in the pandemic. If you're watching this like a few years down the road, we're still in the pandemic. And I'm not as paranoid about being around other people, mostly because in my town, like our COVID numbers are pretty small. At my son's college, they're very, very small now. They didn't used to be. So I'm not so much worried about like being around other people. There's mask mandates that you have to wear a mask inside, which is fine. But what got complicated, not complicated, I guess just something to think about. Like, I tried to be proactive, or I was proactive this morning, where I went for a walk this morning when I noticed the sensory stuff starting up, when I noticed me getting more emotional. I'm like, nope, gotta take that energy a different way. So I went for a walk, which ended up being about 2 miles, and halfway through I stopped and I saw a pretty section of the river where there was a bench. And I'm like, oh, I used to do these 60 seconds of Zen Instagram videos on the Neighbors to Know page. And I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to start doing that again. So I did a short live video, which you can watch on Instagram on Neighbors to Know. And then I did the 60 seconds of Zen. And then went to work after. I'm glad I walked so much, but between all of it, like my body is super sore. I have not done any exercises today. I had PT yesterday morning, and I don't know if I'm gonna do PT even before I go to bed because my body is so tight. I didn't really do anything physical after that. It's just the going back to your workplace after being gone for 3 months. And it's been 4 months to the day that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And even just being in the office, it's like I remember when I turned to my boss and I told her, I got my test results back and I have cancer. And I even just to say it was like, what? And it all happened really fast. I mean, it was July 9th when I was diagnosed, and I was diagnosed only a few days after testing. And then my surgery originally was supposed to be 2 weeks after that. And then it got pushed out to August 20th. So that was, well over a month and a half. It just, I don't know. It makes me wonder, like, who am I as I go back into, like, the real world and the world that's around me. I used to be the person that would just, the more people, the merrier. And, and, if you're going to do things, go big or go home. And now it's different. I'm much more protective over myself. God, I look, sorry. I'm too tired to even get the tripod. Whatever. I'm much more protective over myself. Even as I consider with, when I go back to work, what is my workspace going to look like? What's it going to be like being around my coworkers? How am I going to be being around other people? Even people that just like come and go. It's like you're finding your new normal. And I'm sick of that phrase because for me, it's like I've had to redefine a new normal so many times through my life, and like I don't want to have to do it again. but you have to, because I'm not the same person that I was. You know, it's like when I got divorced and you're single again, you know, there's very much a new normal with that, because you're seen very differently, you know, when you're used to being with everyone else that has kids and, you know, the puppy, and I wouldn't have a puppy, but still, like, you know, you're in your house and you have the husband and you have the kids and, you know, you have all these first world problems, whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, you live in an apartment and it's like, oh, you live in an apartment? I'm like, my apartment's pretty nice, but like, I don't know, in this town where I live in, it's not typical to live in an apartment. So people look at me funny for that, and I feel like I have to defend myself for that. And then it's like, well, now I'm single, and like, you know, you get taken out of the club of, you know, being married, so people treat you differently. And then it's like redefining yourself as a single person or as a divorced person, whatever. At this point, I refer to myself as being single. What the heck is that noise? Anyway, um, yeah, and then like pretty soon I'm gonna be an empty nester, and that's another way to redefine, you know, like what's that gonna look like when both my kids are out of the house, and then like, oh, lo and behold, you have breast cancer. Like, all right. So I think it's like this common thing, whatever, but the way that it impacts you is so, like, you can't really describe it. I really can't. It's just like you're going out into life, and you're trying to navigate how you're going to be, like, with yourself and taking care of yourself, like when it comes to basics, you know, even getting enough sleep, and eating, and prioritizing what you do when, and you know, figuring out how I'm going to be getting to work and getting my son to school, and just all these little things that you have to think of that are new. You know, I still want to, like, I walked 2 miles today. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this shirt. But just because the arms are kind of tight. See how tight that is. I wore it for fashion purposes, not because of well, in practicality, because it's moisture wicking. But I don't know how I'm going to get it off, because I can't lift my right arm above my head. And what was interesting today when I went into work, I had to be clear on, like, you know, what is it that's keeping me from being 100% right now. And I never would have thought when I got diagnosed that the thing that would keep me from being 100% physically is my arms. Like, I didn't realize that your arms would really be impacted. There's a lot of commotion going on outside. Um, the thing with me not editing my videos is, like, when this stuff happens, like, I don't want to go back and edit it. So thank you for your patience. Um, I don't even know where I was. It's a very confusing time to try to figure out stuff. Another part that's really, like, coming up in my space now too is, it's November 9th. And November means, like, lots of stuff coming up in the next month or two. Um, you've got holidays, you've got Thanksgiving, you've got Christmas, you've got New Year's. My birthday is thrown in there too. There's a lot of, like, big days coming up. And the way I look at those days is very different now. This will be my last year with either of my kids home for holidays, and for my birthday for that matter. Um, and it's weird. It's a transition, and I'm sure things will be great, but it's just something weird and something to have to get used to. So it's like you have to discover, like, who you are, and that's not something that you can really plan. I don't know how I'm going to be when I go back to work. I don't know how I'm going to be when, like, somebody just happens to pop into the studio and says hi, or might ask me some questions. And granted, like, you know, I said I don't want there to be some elephant in the room, or white elephant in the room, whatever. I'm so tired. Um, I'd rather people ask me questions. I've had so many people like stare or make comments or make assumptions about stuff going on. Um, I know breast cancer is common, but it's not like if you've seen one, you've seen them all. That is not how it works. Yesterday I had a session with the breast cancer therapist, and it was interesting because I said to him, I just want to like if I could understand, like, you know, if I could understand what my chest, what they actually did, specifically for me, if I could understand that and understand how the pieces are put back together again, and understand, like, why do my armpits still hurt? What how is it that, like, your pectoral muscles are perfectly functional, and just because you go through surgery, granted it's 6.5 hours, they're not cutting my implants are over my pectoral muscle. Nothing was cut. So, like, I don't understand how, like, I have such limitations in my pectoral muscle, especially like right in here. Like, how did that muscle get so small over such a short period of time that I wasn't able to use it? Like, is it just a coping mechanism that your muscles do and they contract substantially after surgery? I don't know. I'm not a science person. I don't get how it works. And there's no manual, and you can you can join all these different groups and talk to all these different women. I mean, for Pete's sake, I know what, 3, 4 people personally, closely, that are going through breast cancer right now, and none of their journeys are like mine. None of them are like each other's. They're all different in some way. Like, I just spent time on Facebook trying to find a a support group, because originally I didn't want to do that because I find them to be kind of negative. But after I talked to the cancer center therapist, and I was what I was saying to him was, I want there to be a YouTube video that I could watch that says, here's a YouTube video of the full 6.5 hours of a skin-sparing mastectomy or skin-sparing double mastectomy with immediate reconstruction, with pre-pectoral implants that are not expanders. Boom, 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 boom. That's what I want to watch. And it's not out there because there is no such thing. As many people that have breast cancer, it's not a thing. And it's I'm finding out too that having implants put in pre-pectorally has just become more the norm, like in the past 10 years. So all these videos that I'm seeing are like drips and drabs of things put together. Even like how your boobs look, your where how they cut into you and where your scars are determined, like, yes, by where the cancer is, and how it's spread or where exactly it's located. But also it's the shape of your boob and the shape of your nipple and the location of how high or low your nipple is and all these other things, how saggy your boobs, like, whatever. No two people's boobs are the same. So even to find something where I can find a video where people have scars that look like my scars, um, I can't even say it's not the norm, because there is no norm. There is no norm. There's just so many permutations as to what you can do. So yesterday he's like, "You're not going to find that video." And I'm like, "I know. But even if I saw it, would it answer all my questions? No." And it's hard when, like, I'm a smart person, I'm inquisitive, I'm curious. Like, I want to know. I want to know I want to know to have some answers to explain. Like, if I can understand, like, okay, this is why it hurts. Okay, then if I do this, then this will make it not hurt. Or at this point, it's not really hurt. It's just like discomfort. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna understand and know what to do. I mean, there are other organs where I don't know where they even are. Like, when they were talking about my parathyroid gland, I'm like, I know your thyroid is here, but the parathyroid gland, I didn't even know what that was or where it was. Um, and that was all firing up, and I'm not sitting there. Well, I did Google a bit at the time, like, where my parathyroid gland was, And that's, by the way, what sparked my kidney stone was my parathyroid hormone levels were super high. And they could have been high because of my cancer. Who knows? There's so many questions, and there's just not answers. And that's really hard when you're someone who likes answers. I'm a teacher by, I know I'm not teaching now. Well, I tutor, but my degrees are in teaching. I was a teacher for a very long time. And, teaching is you have information, you learn information that, ask questions, give answers, whatever. And that's not what it's like with this. And it's just a very different way of thinking. So it's like, how do you be out in society? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like everything is trial and error. And I don't like trial and error. I want to know, like, what's been done, what works, solutions. And that's just not where I am right now. It's frustrating. It's frustrating riding this roller coaster of these, wondering as you're going through your cycle, like, what's going to happen now? Am I just not going to get my period? When am I going to go on the aromatase inhibitors? Are the side effects going to be different than with tamoxifen? I have no idea. No idea. And it's just frustrating. Trying to figure out these things. You're like unwiring yourself as much as you want to have control, for all you fellow anal retentive people out there who want things just so. That's not how things work. And it's a quick life lesson to learn how to not be anal retentive anymore. And get that you really don't have control over anything. I mean, that's not true. You have control over certain things. But there's a lot of things that you just don't. And you could read, research. But I'm not going to get all the answers that I'm looking for. And it's hard. It's hard. So, yeah, I'm all over the place. I feel like I've been all over the place since whenever. It's just, I don't really know how to be right now. And I don't like feeling like that. I'm on any given day in the past week, it's like I've been mad and sad and disappointed I mean, honestly, the happy times that I've had have been based on physical therapy. Because I can see like the progress that I made when I do that. I did bench presses, which sounds exciting. And I said, let's lift the weight up a bit. And what I lifted it up to was a half a pound. Ooh, I bench pressed a half a pound. But still, for me, it was a big deal because I should say my bench pressing is me taking that half a pound on like a rod and lifting it above my head with both of my hands, which I think that's what I was doing. Is that what I was doing? I honestly don't remember which direction I was going in. Well, I'll find out tomorrow morning when I go back. But I mean, they have been doing work where I'm holding on to a pole, kind of like the size of a broom handle or something, and with both hands and like lifting up as far as I can go, above my head. I think when I had the weight on and it was like the bench presses, I think that was just up and down. But still, that was a big deal because when I'm coming down, you're spreading your pecs wide. And like something really silly with work today, like I sat in my desk and I was trying to figure out like, okay, I need to change my monitors. I have to change, I had one of those slide out drawer things where you put your keypad on, but then I got rid of it because I'm tall and it kept knocking into my knees, but I kind of need to have it now because it's how things line up with in order to stay at a 90-degree angle with my shoulders and my arms and whatever. That's going to be the best layout that works for me. And then I inadvertently went to open my top right-hand drawer in my desk because that's like, I was looking for, my mouse or something. And I opened up that drawer and didn't even think twice about it. But when I turned to open it, my arm went like this way and my arm doesn't go this way very far. And I just went to, to do that, not even thinking. And then I was like, because it hurt. And I'm like, damn it. Every time I have to now open my drawers, I have to know to move my chair and my torso over to open the drawers, which is annoying. It sounds so little, but like, when it's something that you do all the time, like how much more do you have to relearn? It's, you have this body and it's not doing what it used to do. The joint pain too. Side effect that's just like popped up in the past week, especially on my feet and my ankles, which is partly also why I've been walking. And today, when I walked, it wasn't like on pavement. I walked in like a unpaved path, but like arching my foot like by my toes and stuff. My toes and my ankle have felt very stiff and achy. So I've been intentionally walking and flexing and trying to be barefoot when I'm home, just so they don't stiffen up. Um, and maybe that'll go away. And I don't know. I don't I don't know when stuff is going to be happening. I don't know. Nothing is planned. And for right now, like I feel very stiff here. Um I feel very engorged. I didn't do a lot with my hands today, so I don't really know why, but I was doing a lot of stuff not at home. Um I don't know. Just a lot of weirdness today. A lot of weirdness. And it's going to be an interesting thing just trying to figure out how to be around people. Um, so if you see me out and about and I seem awkward, then that's why. Um, the the thing that I always hear is, have control over the things that you can control. And while I always vlog when I'm not really dolled up or anything, but my having control is with me going back to work, comes the makeup and it comes the straightening of the hair and not just, went for a walk and was sweaty and just went about my merry way. Um, putting on clothes that are, back to work clothes and maybe even wearing flats or something. Those things I have control over. What's underneath my body, like I don't have um, I don't have control over that. I have control over certain aspects of it, but I'm trying to just learn how it all works. It's like when you have a baby and like you don't know what to expect from the baby because like you don't know the baby. That's what I feel like on the inside. I don't know what's going on right now. Um, I had to explain that like even though surgery is over, it doesn't mean that the cancer journey is over. You're on medication for 5, potentially 10 years. And yeah, that part's not over. I'm getting an injection every month, every 4 weeks and 1 day. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a very weird place to be. Things were unweird for a very short time, but after the 6 to 10 week weirdness phase, and now they're starting to get weird again. So it'll be a transition as I go back to work and go back to life and go back to being busy, but I just have to remember that like, I have my Just Be pillow, my slow down pillow. I have to be nurturing with myself and truly listen to my body and more than I ever have. More than I ever have. The number one thing in your life should be your health, period. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, like what good are you for work or parenting or friendship or anything? You've got to take care of your body first and foremost. Yeah. So I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself like right now. Like it's 7 o'clock and I'm tired, but I don't want to go back or to bed yet. And I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to snack on food. I don't want to clean up anything. I don't even know what to do with myself. I really don't. I guess it's a sign that it's time to go back to work. I don't know. I mean, there's a billion things to do, but I don't know what to do with myself. I don't. I don't know what the best thing is to do for myself, and it's really, really frustrating. I don't like that I don't really know myself right now. And I guess that discovery should be like a positive thing that you get to just, explore and create or whatever, but I don't know who I am right now. I don't know what my personality is right now. The things that I used to be like, yeah, bring it on. That's not how I am anymore. And I don't know if that's short term or if that's just going to be forever. I don't know. But it's a weird place to be. And I'm grateful for the people that are understanding, that are following me along for the ride. There's not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. A lot of people just like don't know what to do and they just separate themselves. But yeah, that's where I am right now. And again, a key thing before I leave is I mean, yes, these vlogs are helpful for me. They're always interesting when I look back. It was funny when I was Googling a support group, a friend of mine posted my video of when I did the toe to head breakdown of like what I liked and what I didn't like, or what worked or what didn't work with my body. It was day like 16. It was before surgery, and I'm looking at myself in that vlog, and I'm like, it was before surgery, and I'm like, oh, that's what I used to look like. Like I was wearing these jeans, and I'm like, do I still even own those jeans? Like, do they fit? I don't even know what jeans those are. And I was talking about how I was black and blue from the biopsies and stuff, and how I didn't like looking at myself in the shower because I was black and blue. And meanwhile, like, now I think of it like black and blue is nothing because those go away. Like, now I've got these two huge scars, and like, they'll get lighter, but they won't like go away. Careful what you're worried about, because there's much bigger things to be worried about. And I didn't like looking at myself in the shower because of the bruising, which I get, like, when they did the biopsies, you could, the shape of one of the bruises was like, because they were poking around so much with the biopsies inside of the largest tumor. But it's just like, I'm just looking at myself then, and I was wearing a black top, so I couldn't see what the top part of me looked like, but it's like all I could do is look at my chest. Maybe that's why people do it now. All I could do is look at my chest, and I wondered, like, what bra was I wearing? I think I was wearing bralettes at the time because I was sore from the biopsies. But I just like wonder, like, what was I wearing? I had choices of what I could wear for a bra. Like, I don't remember what it was like. I don't remember what it looked like when I wore bras. And it's just so nuts, because it's like for 49 years and however long, 48 years or whatever, I can't math right now. I'm so pooped. It's like, I can't, you forget, and the, whatever it's been since August 20th, you forget in that time, almost 12 weeks, you forget in that time, like, what you used to look like, and it's just weird. It's just weird. I don't know. Last thing I'll say, I was looking at on my phone, going through old pictures and stuff, and I had taken a bunch of pictures the day before surgery, which someone has suggested that I do. I had taken pictures of just my breasts, which were like bruised and stuff, whatever, like after I had the biopsies done. But they weren't like they were more like sections of like, here's my right breast, here's my left breast, whatever. I think it's important if you're going through this yourself to take a picture of you. It's up to you if your face is in it or not. Of you from the front, you from the side, you from either side. So you remember like what you used to look like. And I don't know. For me, it was just like as I was looking at the picture from the front and my nipples were there. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forget what my nipples look like. You know how many times you really stare at your nipples? I forgot like what they looked like. And then I was like, oh, they were pretty big actually. Like not weirdly big, just like, I mean, my boobs were almost D cups before. But I'm just looking at them and I'm like, you know, they had to cut an awful lot to get around the nipple. And when I think of how much skin is pulled up or together to be able to seal it after cutting out that much tissue, I'm surprised it doesn't like hurt more from the stretching than it does. But I look at those pictures and I'm like, oh, that was me. That was me for so long. Like almost 50 years, that was me. And now it's like I can't ever remember what I remember what my nipples felt like. I don't really remember like I can't look in the mirror and picture my nipples back on my boobs again. I can't. And while like I'll have the tattooing done like down the road, it's going to be a while, and I'm sure it'll look wonderful when it's done. It's like that's just a different body, and it's mine, but it's like fabricated, and it's just weird. Identity. It's going to be a while as I rediscover like what's my identity and who am I? I am a breast cancer survivor. And that matters more than anything. And it's weird. All right, I'm going to sign off. I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself right now. I don't know how to be. I don't know what to do. Whatever. But I'm done talking. All right, I will check in again. My advice to leave you with, I know I haven't done gratitude in like forever. I'm just not in a space to do that right now. I don't know. The advice I would say to you is, again, if you know someone going through this, there's so much in people's spaces that you have no idea what someone else is thinking or what they're going through. And this far out from things, like where I'm almost 12 weeks out, the best question that I was asked on Sunday. I was on Zoom church and someone said, ask me how I was. And I'm like, someone hasn't asked me that in a really long time. Because overall I'm doing good. But it's just different. It's just different. And it means a lot to be asked. It means a lot to be asked how you are. It's not so much about tasks anymore. It's really not. Like, I could run to CVS and buy a toothbrush if I needed, or get a half gallon of milk, not a gallon, whatever. I could figure all this stuff out, but just to ask people, like, at this point, how are you? In the beginning, you're asked that question so much, and it's like, oh my God, how do you think I am? But now, like, you want people to ask you how you are, because people just assume that you're just fine. And I'll be fine. Right now, it just is a really weird time. So, like I said, if you know someone going through treatment, even when you think that they're done with treatment because you don't know, anyone that's had breast cancer is not just done when surgery is over. You're not. You're not. Just ask and be a kind person and offer whatever you can offer. It doesn't have to be like a gift or something. It can just be a question or a statement or whatever. You just never know what's going to light up someone's day. But the effort is what matters. All right. I think I'm going to eat popcorn. All right. Gratitude. I'm grateful that I was able to go walking today for 2 miles in a nature preserve, which was super pretty. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the friends that have really stepped up to help. Yeah, I have to focus on the good with that because I know there's a lot that haven't, and it hurts. But the people that have, and I'm getting like those are the people I need to be putting my energy into because they haven't left my side. What else am I grateful for? I'm like looking around. I don't know. I'm grateful for my apartment right now because my annoying neighbors downstairs moved out. Thank God. I hope I have nice, normal neighbors for whoever moves in. But they moved out, so I'm grateful for my apartment. Because it's warm and it's cozy and I don't have annoying neighbors downstairs anymore. So, yeah, that's what I'm grateful for. All right, everyone. Have a good night, day, whatever it is. Bye.